interruption, and as we're quipping, probably chess, we cannot use the analogy of chess. It might be hard for us to understand, but for draft we can definitely understand. We can definitely understand that one. Escalating the conversation and to looking at some of the breaking news that have come in today, where Azimio says that it has called off they have called off the demonstrations that were slated for Wednesday. What do you make of that particular call, even as I look for the full information as it was stated by the Azimio leader Raila Odinga?
Well, as we stated last week, there were talks, of course, and these people know how they talk within themselves, maybe through people themselves, just directly. But there is talk, of course, behind the curtains. You know, if you limit the talks, it can be really bad in the country. And saying this is not a coincidence. Something came up. Something came up that maybe is not in the light currently. But it's either through dialogue or it's through fear. There are two things here. So it's either through dialogue that maybe they had some conversation between them and they agreed that let us tone down. You know, and maybe it can be through fear, maybe through intimidation. The things we saw, people getting arrested, people getting murdered, and maybe they just said, hey, let's change our strategy and have a better way of looking at this. And of course, you know, the international community was now getting invested in this.
Absolutely.
They were,
And just to quickly jump into that, even some of the consulates were called out, I think, by the deputy president because they sort of, some of these consulates had a secretive meeting, quote unquote, with former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka at his current home. So probably also that interest from the consulates. When I talk about consulates, these are the foreign envoys that are in Kenya. If you could continue with your thought.
So when all this took place, maybe they saw that we have to re-strategize and see the better way of approaching these issues that are facing Kenyans. And you know, every leader has his own way of approaching. You know, if Baba demonstrated against Uhuru, now this is Ruto. You cannot do the same thing and expect the same results. So maybe he has seen that I will approach him this way. And I've seen that he has instead put a vigil or something instead of the daily or the normal maandamano. Well, that is just a way of saying that we are not going to demonstrate.
Because actually, as you're talking, I'm wondering, okay, doesn't this vigil involve people going to the streets?
He's just keeping people busy. But that is just calling off the maandamano. Definitely.
And do you think, because what many people ask themselves, where does the former Prime Minister gather all this popularity? Because the vigil, you could look at it as a way of quelling the demonstrations or the maandamano. And there is a higher probability that people will still come out.
They will. Oh, they will. People will come out. Baba says, people will do.
There is memes I was saying on the internet, and one of them was reading, Baba, mimi nimechoka na hii mwaka, so itishe Christmas sasa.
And he can.
Because they feel that they are tired. Going forward, even as we're coming to today's conversation, going forward, we have seen what has been happening. The arrest of Maina Njenga and the brothers, they were released. Charges placed on them, possession of firearms, illegal firearms and narcotics. One of the biggest media strategists for what you'd call the Azimio la Umoja, Pauline Njoroge, was busted, also arrested. Charges have been placed against her. Babu Owino, 3 days, no, he was busted at the airport, nothing to be heard about. The likes of the former, one of the only last standing supporters of the former president in the Jubilee Party, Jeremiah Kioni, saying that he had to switch his phone off for around 3 days to sort of escape the dragnet of the police. Going forward, what do you see happening?
Well, I can say that, the government is also stamping its authority and saying that, we are in charge.
Yeah.
We are in charge here. And you cannot just call protests at any day and just expect people to come and just vandalize and
people's property.
Yeah, So the government is trying to say, in short, that we are here.
We are in control.
We are in control.
Yeah.
And whatever you say, we can say contrary, and it will not happen because we want to protect, in their own view, they want to protect the lives and the property of the Mwananchi, So going forward, I'm saying if this strategy worked for the government, definitely it's going to be employed again in another demonstration that maybe will happen in the future. But of course, you have also to understand that as a democracy, as a people, we are learning. People learn. And if you're putting this strategy today, they will circumnavigate it.
Absolutely.
And come up with another way of demonstrating, of showing their protests. So going forward, I'm saying that even if the government is going to employ all this, they are not going to suppress a people who have something to achieve, if they really have something to achieve.
Absolutely.
If it's really in their thoughts, in their minds, and it's really paining them, they will come out and give their voice.
Yes. And probably this time around it will not be Raila Odinga.
It will not.
Interesting there. And what there is something that we forgot to talk about, and I do not want it to escape us. The people's defender, Okiya Omtatah.
Yes.
The people's defender, Okiya Omtatah.
Solomon.
Yes. His office was raided over the weekend, and computers were stolen and paperwork burned.
Yes.
Is there an arm of the government in this? Because
with Okiya Omtatah, we cannot really pinpoint at who would be agitated about Okiya Omtatah. Because Okiya Omtatah really does a good job for the public, and he doesn't really care. He doesn't really care which song you sing, which side you are in. If he sees something is wrong,
he's going to litigate.
Yes. So with the current happenings, of course, we cannot just juggle around and say it can be anyone. Of course, we are seeing the government also. I'm not saying for sure.
I don't know why you aren't clearly seeing mkono ya serikali hapo ndani.
No, the way you're looking at me, Alan.
I'm like, we both know. Tunajua.
Well, but we cannot just say
absolutely that anyone. Without absence of the absence of evidence is the absence of the
evidence of absence. Well, with Okiya Omtatah, I think he really needs to understand. Of course, Okiya Omtatah is someone now that is really respected all through the country for the works that he has done for the Mwananchi. By himself doing the homework and going to the court and saying that this has to be stopped, this has to be done like this. So, and he told the president to his face.
When he visited Busia.
And he said that I'm going to take this matter to court and it will not proceed. So we really need, I also need to understand what happened to Okiya Omtatah. Hoping he's not the government or
and many people have said also different views and different theories are being thrown around that probably the government is also playing a long gimmick on the people, that probably the courts are not also very that independent. What do you make of that? There are so many theories. We are becoming conspiracy theorists. There are so many theories that we throw out there. Whatever sticks, and we run away with it.
The courts have not been to the government's favor for these past few months. I don't know what is happening, because it has just been a very drastic shift of everything, and the courts are now just not answering to the call that the government needs. I don't know what you can put to that, but there was say that the former president had a hand, very strong hand in the courts. We really don't know if that's true. And if it's the case, then it can also play, as we are seeing other things play out, it can also play into their favor, the favor of the opposition, that the courts are really also playing a hand in everything. At the end of the day, this is politics, I always say, and everyone is suspect. everyone is suspect. As long as you're breathing, as long as you're a human being, you are suspect.
And I think I cannot add anything else. I think we will end it there today. Everybody is suspect. Even you who is watching right now, you are a suspect.
Yes.
Good evening.
Thank you.